Hey everybody, today we are debating Christian ethics versus the ethics of our good friend Raging Atheist, and we're starting right now. Very excited to have you here, everybody, for this superb debate. So we have two gentlemen here who have got some energy. They've got some gusto. You know, they've got some. They're still young and spry. They're excited about these debates, which makes it extra fun. And with our debate today, I want to say thanks to our debaters. First of all, we have to, acknowledge their willingness to give up their time to get in the hot seat as well, and just sharing all the different stuff that they've read and all that. So. We want to say thanks for coming on, Praise I Am That I Am, and Raging Atheist. We appreciate you both coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
You betcha.
Likewise.
Absolutely. And in addition, if you are new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button. We're trying to grow an eclectic community. Basically, we want as much ideological diversity as possible. So whether you be an atheist, a Christian, a Scientologist, whatever you are, we're glad you're here, and we hope that we get to hear you in the live chat, sharing your ideas, or in the comments. We want to have as many new ideas here as possible. So with that, we're going to quick talk about an upcoming debate really fast. So this is about our good friends, Inspiring Philosophy and Tom Jump. Very skilled debaters, and that is coming up Wednesday, February 27th. Don't want to miss it. Inspiring Philosophy, I'm sure most of you probably heard of him. And then Tom Jump, you've probably heard of him by now, especially if you've been hanging around this channel for a while. But in addition to that, Tom Jump kind of was like this dark horse that came out of nowhere and it was like, wow, this guy's been reading a ton and he's really quick on his feet. So that's going to be an exciting one. And then last, we want to mention BeTheMatch.org. This is a nonpartisan charity, basically a bone marrow donor registry. Not Christian, not atheist, just nonpartisan, looking for bone marrow donors so that you can potentially save a life. They don't want your money. Basically, if you donate your bone marrow, they will cover your medical expenses, and from there, you will, it's true, it'll be probably a very painful process, but you will save a life, hopefully. That's the hope, is that it'll be as good of a match as the computers turn up. So I've had a couple of friends who have already gotten to do that, donating their bone marrow to save a life. So highly encourage you to check out Be The Match if you haven't heard of them yet. Now, we are going to get started. I'm really excited, as I mentioned. We have got a short and sweet one tonight, and so that's why we want to jump right into this. We are going to have open discussion, and we're going to let Praise, or forgive me, it's Raging Atheist is going to start first, and he's just going to kind of explain his kind of ethical system. If you will, I'll let him explain it in his own words. But before we kick that off, I want to really quick just to acknowledge that the speakers' links are in the description. So if you are like, hey, I've never heard of this person, or maybe you're like, yeah, I've heard of them enough, like, I want to go check out their stuff. So, hey, this is your chance. Their links are conveniently chilling out in the description, and we highly encourage you to check them out. No matter what side you're on, even if you disagree, at least you can hear their case straight from them. So we will now ask the debaters just what they've been up to at their channel, if they want to share for maybe 30 seconds. And we'll start with Praise. We appreciate you coming back on. And Praise I Am That I Am, what have you been up to at your channel?
Well, firstly, I want to thank you, James, for being a great host and having this opportunity with my opponent to discuss ethics. And the purpose of my channel is to defend the Bible against malicious lies that are perpetuated by the oppositions to Christianity, such as slavery in the Bible, rape, genocide, etc. I also do other apologetics as well, too.
You bet. We're stoked to have you here, and interesting channel. By the way, it's interesting coincidence that IP, who we mentioned earlier, that's how I learned about your channel. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, next. Raging Atheist, we're totally stoked to have you here, getting in the hot seat, and this is your first time, and that's why it's an especially extra special time. A lot of special. So if you want to share what you've been up to, thanks for coming on, buddy.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Nakasuchi. That is a real name that I have taken. Went through a name ceremony in Cherokee, North Carolina to get it. I do have a white Christian name that I don't use on YouTube. But you can find me at The Raging Atheist, and I do attack Christianity and what I see as lies and immorality in the Christian religion.
You bet. Well, we appreciate your frankness. So he's not hiding anything. He's transparent, and we appreciate that. So with that, we will jump right into the discussion. So we will go for, it's going to be a quick one, folks. We got to be done for sure by 9:15 Eastern. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, great. So we will go for like roughly 53 minutes open discussion, and then a quick like 12 or so minute Q&A. Sorry that's short, but I promise it's going to be great. So we will let Raging Atheists open it up. Thanks for being here again.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be on Modern Day Debate. I watch your show. Big fan. I like what you're doing here. I like the fact that you bring in different ideologies and worldviews to combat each other in a positive way. My personal morality is my own. You know, for me, I'm kind of blind coming into the debate. I do want to thank Praise for wanting to debate me. Didn't know he even I was on his radar. So, but my personal morality comes from my own life experience. I do claim to be what I am. I'm the Raging Atheist. I'm going to attack you if I can. I'm not going to be the nice atheist that's going to try to use the intelligent debate points. I'm going to go low, and I'm going to be proud of it. And I do this because, in my opinion, for hundreds of years, Christians did worse to us. And I know that's going to probably trigger my opponent here, but you can just look at the Spanish Inquisition, the European witch hunts. You can look at hearsay laws and how atheists were being burned at the stake. So I think me calling atheists the names that theists the names that I call them is kind of, nowhere near in scope. But I do admit that most atheists probably wouldn't like my approach. I am who I am. I'm very aggressive. I'm very alpha with everything I do. And that's just me. And I don't run from it. If I'm wrong, I try to admit that I'm wrong. But I'm not afraid to call out what I see as idiocy.
You bet. And praise I am that I am.
Okay, as a Christian, when it comes to ethical debates, I, as well as many other Christians, are thrilled to engage with this kind of topic because I feel the Christian worldview is unparalleled and lopsided in the Christian's favor when it comes to competing worldviews regarding meta-ethics. This debate will be a great illustration of whose worldview is superior and whose worldview isn't. I'm going to demonstrate the Christian worldview is the only worldview that is justified in grounding meta-ethics in altruism. I will also show the Bible is a transcendent source of morality and altruistic principles. The atheistic worldview can easily be eliminated as a source of meta-ethics and altruism because there is no possible foundation to ground ethical principles with. The atheist has to concede their moral framework can be reduced to molecules in motion because natural processes are incapable of generating moral ontology, and that's the point. Non-material principles cannot be extracted from material. In fact, morals are metaphysical, and the word metaphysical itself literally means above physics. The universe certainly cannot endow atheists with any type of moral autonomy, so it has to come from a transcendent source. Ultimately, meta-ethics becomes exclusively a theistic matter because physics nor evolution are relevant with ethics. To appeal to evolution to account for moral values is a futile exercise because, as even several popular materialists have noted, that evolution is an untenable source of morality. Thomas Nagel states, evolutionary naturalism implies that we shouldn't take any of our convictions seriously, including the scientific world picture on which evolutionary naturalism itself depends. And that's from What Does It All Mean? A very short introduction to philosophy, page 100. Michael Roos comments as well. It is in an important sense, ethics as we understand it is an illusion fobbed off by our genes to get us to cooperate. Ethical codes work because they drive us to go against our selfish day-to-day impulses, favor of long-time group survival and harmony. Furthermore, The way our biology forces our ends is making us think that there is an objective higher code that we all are subject. Ethics is a shared illusion to the human race, and that's Evolution and Ethics, New Scientist, page 5152. You know, Sam Harris speaks about rape and evolution. There's nothing more natural than rape. Human beings rape, chimpanzees rape, gargantuans rape. Rape clearly is part of an evolutionary strategy to get genes into the next generation. If you're a male, and that's ABC Radio National, the Religion Report, Science Fatwa, Part 2, and it's December 20th, 2006. You can check that out. And as far as any other gods or religions outside of Christianity go, they fall pitifully short because, for one, love is part of the eternal nature of God. God embodies love. 1 John 4:7-8. His eternal moral nature is flawless. Matthew 5:48. And he himself is an eternal non-physical being. John 4:24. If you add all these characteristics together, it is clear that God is the only justification of morality and altruism. Moreover, his loving nature is the paragon of all altruism because his love is unconditional and sacrificial. Other gods and faiths are incompetent when it comes to justifying a basis for meta-ethics. Okay.
Just so Raging Atheist has, in case it's hard to remember all those different points, forgive me. I want to just be sure that, given that it's a discussion forum,
okay,
that it's short and pithy, but I don't mean to, forgive me for cutting in.
Okay. I'll try to shorten it up here in the very last part.
You bet.
Okay, I'm going to make the point. The Bible is in its own class when it comes to the golden rule because it could be argued, you know, that the biblical golden rule transcends and is distinct from all other religions and philosophies because it is intrinsically non-reciprocal, which means God expects us to not only love others as ourselves, Leviticus 19 and 34, but to return love to those who don't deserve it. And C.S. Lewis's quote captures this perfectly. He says, love is never wasted, for its value does not rest upon reciprocity. So I'll end with that there.
You bet. Thank you for bringing that in. So we'll go into the open, organic discussion.
Awesome. Yeah, that was a lot of emphasis in that word salad. Probably put a lot of time into it, probably researched it, and it's just what I said it is. It's a bunch of word salad that means nothing. Ethics are based on what you do, not what you say. You talk about the golden rule. I don't need a 2,000-year-old Bible to tell me that I'm not going to murder somebody because I don't want to be murdered. I'm not going to cause pain to somebody because I don't want to feel pain. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you is a nonsensical, common sense approach to life. I don't need to be guided to that. I'm smart enough to do it by myself. So everything you just said, complete garbage. I go based upon my life and my actions. For example, it's pretty well known that I have maybe you don't know this, but I have a running feud with a guy named Matt Powell. Now, if you don't know who Matt Powell is, he is a Christian who calls for the death of homosexuals, who calls for the death of people that cheat on their wives, and who calls for the death of disobedient children. Now, that doesn't go towards his ethics. He's playing with that. What goes towards his ethics is his dishonesty, his approach to the conversation, the fact that he's willing to misedit me, where I, the atheist, wasn't willing to do that. I was very open. I showed everything unedited from our conversation, and yet he made a movie called Science Falsely So Called, where he completely misrepresents me, completely misedits me, makes me look like a fool, and then when I called him out on it, all he has is excuses and begs me to stop making videos on him. Ethics is about what you do, not about what you say.
Okay, but you have to justify a basis for your ethics. They're not arbitrary. Do you have any justification for your ethics?
My justification is my own. I'm not going to go out and harm people because I don't want to be harmed. I'm going to do right by people in my life because I want them to do right by me. I don't need some imaginary sky god to tell me to do that.
Well, I can invoke the same type of logic and just say, well, God tells me and that makes it right. No, you need some kind of justification to ground that.
I think the fact that you need God to tell you to do that is pretty ridiculous.
Well, I think that's kind of a straw man. We don't need God to tell us that, but it reminds us that we should follow him what he says, though, because he is transcendent. His love is transcendent. His moral nature is transcendent to us, so we should. It's prescriptive. It has nothing to do like with what you're trying to make it out to sound like.
Like what? Like what you do in your life and with your actions? That's ethics.
Yeah, it's like God like you're trying to make it sound like, well, God interferes with us. He's like a big meanie that's trying to control us. That's not. That is a.
That's not what I'm saying at all. I don't believe in God. I don't think he's a big meanie. I think he's a big non-existent nothing.
Okay, but could you have any justification though to ground your ethics with? That's what I keep asking you. And how could you ground something that's metaphysical with something physical?
Again, word salad. I don't even know what that means, dude. This is it right here. All right. I don't go trolling on the internet. I don't go saying disrespectful things to people just to get a stir out of them. I do that on my YouTube channel. You know, I'm not going to lie about that. But I'm not a troll. I show my face. I'm here for the world to see. That's called ethics.
Okay.
That's called integrity.
Do you believe in the scientific method?
Yes.
Okay. Can you find the ethic of not murdering people in a test tube? Can you extract it, or can you find it in a telescope? Can you find it in a scientific beaker? You're not going to find ethics in scientific methods.
I never said you would. I said that you find ethics based upon how you live your life.
Well, where does it come from, though? That's the point I'm making.
It comes from, to begin with, your parents, how they raise you. You know, if I didn't have a dad that raised me right, I'd be completely different. It doesn't have anything to do with God.
Where do they come from?
Nothing at all.
Where do they get it from?
From their parents. And they got it from their parents before them, and their parents before them, all the way back.
It's just regressive. And where did they get it? Where did the first ape or human being, or if you believe in evolution, where did they get it from?
I don't know. I wasn't there. Neither was you. You're going to sit here and pretend to know, but you wasn't there.
What I'm showing is I'm eliminating your method.
No, you're not.
You have no justification, and once I eliminate what I do, though, because they're, by definition, they are above physics. So that means it's already transcendent right there. You have to concede that.
It's more word salad to me. I don't have to concede nothing. All I can do is go based upon what I see. Like personally, you know, the situation with Matt Powell. He was dishonest. I wasn't. That's something that can be tested. You can look at it. You know, all I have to do is look at you and your little group of people to see that you're unethical. All I have to do is watch your apologetics on slavery. Like you yourself sit here and say it's not slavery, it's an indentured servitude, as if that's a good thing. You know, my ethics doesn't allow me to take somebody as an indentured servant just because God says it's okay. That's not ethical to me.
So you're saying working is not ethical?
I'm saying what?
Are you saying laboring is unethical?
I'm saying indentured servitude. That's not
all
laboring.
it is.
No, it's not.
They are working off debts.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. They're working off debts. That's all they were doing.
And this is your apologetics, but that's cool. I mean, if you're cool with slavery and indentured servitude or whatever,
you're just imposing your own.
But the test is this: would you be willing to do it yourself?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure you would not.
To not become poor, yes, I would. Become destitute. They were trying to not become destitute.
Oh yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous.
So staying destitute is not ridiculous.
Through the indentured servitudes, that you want to call it indentured servitudes. Let's not forget that Dr. Josh schooled you on what it really was.
Oh,
you want to call it indentured servitude, right?
Yeah.
You would not go and put yourself through that. I guarantee it.
I guarantee I would. I guarantee it.
Sit here and say you would, but it's a lie. I mean,
yeah,
anybody knows.
Well, indentured servitude was grounded in the Golden Rule, which actually is the Bible's Golden Rule. It has nothing to do with the law or the general golden rule because it's the law of reciprocity.
Oh yeah, the
and even
golden
the
rule.
Bible shows that we're not even supposed to even.
You can beat him until he's not. You can beat him, just don't kill him. That's the golden rule. I mean, to me, that is not the golden rule, and you can justify it all you want. I'm the wrong dude. I'm not going to.
That's a non sequitur. That's not. We're talking about a judgment of a criminal that was judged through a criminal process.
Welcome to the Raging Atheist, yo. You wanted it. You asked for it. I didn't ask for this.
No, I know. I'm just showing you that your worldview is unjustifiable. You have nothing that's justified.
I find it hilarious that you are attacking my worldview. Who? I watched it. I watched what Dr. Josh did. He was more than courteous to you, try to give you every benefit of the doubt, and then you just
Isn't this like a non sequitur, though, James? I mean, are we talking about like the issue at hand?
You guys are going to attack
Dr. Josh have to do with this?
and Skylar Fiction nonstop. You know,
Look
your
at my last video
trolls
of Skylar
attacking my
Fiction,
integrity, where I'm here showing my face, and you're a Fiddle Minger. You know, I mean, that's ethics. That's showing that's being proud of who you are and not backing away from it. I mean, I don't think you understand what ethics are. I mean, I think you have all these definitions.
At least I can ground ethics. You can't even ground anything. You can't even ground rationality because all you are is molecules in motion.
According to
meat
you,
robot.
When did I?
According to me, no. According to your worldview, everything.
So you know my worldview. How do you know my worldview?
Because you're a materialist. You're a materialist. I mean, that naturally follows.
Watched any of my videos?
You're an atheist. What else could you be?
Exactly. So we're all the same. Just like all you Christians are Matt Powell. Just like all Christians are you and your red pill religion quack. I mean, it's ridiculous. The hatred that's.
All I see is ad hominems. You're showing how low your worldview is, what you are.
I'm the raging atheist. I'm
morality.
Nothing else. I am me.
Are you proud of your atheistic morality or what?
Hell yeah, I am. Fuck yeah. Oh, excuse me. Yes, I am. I'm very
proud that I
broke away from that hatred. I'm very proud that I stand in opposition to hatred. You know, you guys like to sit there.
Opposition. You're doing it yourself. You're doing
one of the things that
all you are doing is just perpetuating hatred right now.
One of the things that I love most about what you've said recently is how you and Max, whatever his name is how the Christian community is the one that gave gay rights. You take away from actual history. And I am the one that's standing in direct opposition of Christians calling for the death of homosexuals. I'm the one that's standing in opposition of Matt Powell, not you. So while you're defending your Christian religion, trying to put what Christians are doing on us atheists, I stand in direct opposition of what's really going on.
Yeah, it's this arbitrary, though. You have no justification for anything you say or do.
I don't have God as a justification.
You have zero justification.
I am responsible for
circular. I mean, I can say that the moon is your justification. I mean,
I just said that I am my justifications. See, this is what you do. You like to put words in people's mouths, and you like to like
it's just arbitrary.
You don't know me, dude. You don't know me at all. You haven't even watched my videos. All you see is the Raging Atheist, and you assume you know me. I mean, that right there shows you the type of person you are.
I seen your class of morality when you tried to attack Standing for Truth. I thought it was pretty low.
I invited Standing for Truth onto my channel, and when he attacked,
I cut them out.
I'm the Raging Atheist. Why are you butthurt about it?
One second,
because you were incredulous.
Hold on 1 second, guys. I hate to. If we just re-steer more toward the kind of ethical
right, that's
theory,
what I was hoping. I thought we're talking about ethics here.
We want to be as laissez-faire as possible, so kind of let you guys wander the field as much as, or not wander, but explore the field, the moral field as much as possible. But in this case, I think it's like if we steer it back just a little bit.
I mean, my whole point is, it's funny to me that I'm getting trolled about my ethics by internet trolls, because that's what you guys are. I mean, that's why you don't show your face, right? I mean, you don't show your face.
You're projecting.
You can't be proud of what you say.
You're projecting.
Yes, I am. I'm proud of it too.
Okay, yeah. I'm glad
Just like you projected onto me that I'm an atheist like everybody else. So you do it too. Don't pretend you don't. Everything you do is.
I don't need to project. There's nothing that
I already did, dude.
Oh, brother.
I mean, you should have watched my videos. You wouldn't have been surprised.
How about,
Well, I mean, I would like to touch more on this golden rule, though. Is that okay?
Let's do it.
Okay. I mean, the biblical golden rule is not reciprocal, which is what you say you should treat other people the way you want to be treated. Well, the Bible's golden rule is actually greater than that because it's unconditional. Even if someone, like right now, what you're showing to me is hatred, and that's with well, Jesus says you should love your enemy, and that's part of the golden rule. And
I love all my enemies. I just had a great conversation with Brett Keane. We went for a whole month back and forth, dissing each other, and I was able to have a really good conversation with an enemy.
But do you love your enemy, though?
I love every human being. I'm a humanist. Even the people that I attack, girl defined. I don't like their religion. I don't like the stuff they push out, but I love them as human beings. Matt Powell, I see that there's hope for Matt Powell. I think he can be redeemed. And I'm not saying become an atheist. I'm just saying become a less atrocious Christian, not calling for the death of homosexuals. I think people can be redeemed. Yes, I have hope for people, but that's not going to stop me from calling out the idiocy. It's not.
Right. But I'm trying to show you this was written thousands of years ago, and God demands this from people. So how could you even say anything?
Well, why was it written?
How could you demonize anything in the scriptures or the Bible? I mean, you have.
Why would God choose this little area 2,000 years ago and not wait for the modern world? Or why doesn't he show himself now? I mean, he could solve this whole God question right now.
But then what's the point of reality then?
Oh, I mean, here's your apologetics. I mean, what's the point of reality? What's the point of reality with God? I mean, what's the point of reality with God not showing himself and then, I doubt his existence because I've never seen him, and yet I'm wrong and my ethics are screwed. I've already shown you how, in my opinion, based on actual fact and history, how I do have ethics when approaching fellow theists or theists, even people like you. Like, I don't even know who you are. All I've seen is your one appearance on Scholar Fiction. I have no idea who you are. I don't dislike you. I just dislike the crap you say.
Okay.
And I definitely dislike the attacks on Shannon Q. I don't like that. Straight up.
Okay, but I'm trying to show you though that the Bible is the source of all morality, and
and I'm trying to show you if the Bible is the source of all morality, and that is the consequence of that is a bunch of internet trolls attacking a woman on the internet who's supposed to be these God-fearing, loving Christians. I don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, but whatever, it has nothing to do with the source of the Bible, though. Whatever, let's call it what they call a genetic fallacy. Just because people do something bad in the name of something doesn't actually make it itself bad.
I agree. I am not. Okay. I don't stand in opposition to all Christians. I think there are plenty. I just said it last night with Brett Keane. My dad is a Christian and he's a good dude, and I love him fiercely. My beef isn't with Christianity. It's with the Matt Powells of the world and people like you that's going to push untruth, that's going to sit here and justify slavery. I mean, it's disgusting.
But there is no such thing as slavery in the first place.
According to you. But I mean, all right, even say you're right about that, which you're not, but say you are, right? It doesn't matter because most of the people that read that book read it the way we say about slavery. They see it. Most people aren't going to seminary school to get the fine tunings of what the meaning is. They're going by what they're told. Guzman is a 12-year-old boy preaching hate against homosexual people because he was told that by adults like Matt Powell and Steven Anderson and his parents.
Right, but that's just ignorance, and that you can't use that as a weapon. And like Josh and like Skylar, they're trying to use their ignorance as a weapon. And
I mean, for you to say Dr. Josh, who is actually a scholar on the subject, is ignorant, I mean, is ludicrous.
I've showed it over and over. Right now that's like
your appearance on that show was a joke, dude. It was.
Yeah, I mean, the host was a joke, but I thought this. I mean, can we really get back to the issue at hand, though?
Please, I'm waiting for you to tell me how my ethics are bad and yours is good when you're the internet troll and
I just did. I mean,
showing my face to the world.
You have You're morally bankrupt. You have no
I'm morally
justification.
bankrupt. Yeah, I'm sitting here showing my face to the world, and you're hiding behind Fiddle Minger.
But that doesn't mean you can justify that, though.
Well, I don't need a
What
justification. That's evidence.
What basis do you have to even claim anything as ethical or
What basis do you have, dude? I mean, like,
I show it over and over.
I don't understand your question. I have ethics, and I've shown that, right? I've shown it. So
Right.
what are you talking about?
I can justify my morality in the nature of God. That's perfect. It's flawless, and I've showed
The nature of God, the same God that killed every living thing on this planet. Because
Oh yeah, I mean, I've heard that before. I mean, your stigmatization and bigotry, but that's not an
I'm
argument.
talking about the global flood, dude. The global flood, where
That's a
he killed
straw
everything
man
on the
argument.
planet.
I don't even believe in a global flood. I can actually disprove a global flood.
I don't believe in a global flood, but you're the Christian.
I don't believe. I never said that, and it's a global flood isn't exclusive to all Christians. That's another straw man argument.
No, it's kind of in your Bible.
No, actually, the word earth can mean a piece of land. It can mean a territory. I mean, you got to learn what the manuscripts and these words in the Hebrew mean. This is what I was talking about.
Why would I have to learn?
Tyler didn't even know what an
I'm not a
LXX is. This is pure ignorance with atheists. That's the point I'm trying to make here.
Whatever, you call it what you want. I'm saying it's pure ignorance on your part. You're going to sit here and deny what the Bible actually says, and then you're going to go against scholars.
I'm denying your
knows what the
interpretation
original
of the
text says.
Bible.
I mean, that's unethical in my opinion. You know, I mean, I have shown my ethics. You are the one attacking my ethics, not the other way around.
No, what
I
you're
didn't
doing
come
is
to you attacking
stealing.
you about the shitty things you guys were doing.
No, what you're doing is you're stealing from my ethical standards.
How am I stealing anything from you? I don't
Because
know you.
all morality is grounded in God. You can't say anything
Pure
contrary
idiocy.
to
That's
that.
pure idiocy. It's pure idiocy.
Prove it then. Prove it.
It's easy to prove because humans
Okay.
have been around longer than God, dude. Our natural state is atheism.
You know God
Religion
is
showed up
eternal, right?
10,000 years ago. We've been here for at least 60.
Subjective. I'm sure people like Standing for Truth can easily destroy that claim, but
Oh, I'm sure they could. You know,
so-
you just have to go against what science says.
you can see how weak and fallible your ethical standard is. There's
I don't
nothing
see
justifiable about it.
Just because you say a thing doesn't make me see a thing. I mean, I take anything that you say because you have actually proven yourself to be unethical, I take as a grain of salt. You sitting here attacking my
You're just
ethics
going
is
in
actually
circles.
the biggest compliment that I could have. It's the biggest compliment you could give me. Because I've proven mine. You have
Okay,
nothing.
so when Jesus said, "Love your enemy" in Matthew 5:44, are you saying that is immoral?
One, I don't care what Jesus said. I don't think he existed. Two, I don't need Jesus to tell me to love my enemy.
But you are arguing that the Bible is immoral, though, and you're making all these claims.
So what? The Bible is immoral.
Well,
For
I'm destroying your argument here. You don't
No,
even
you're
see
not.
what I'm doing.
You're cherry picking verses, which is not something I came prepared to do.
I'm the one that's cherry picking.
Defend my morality, So I mean, yeah, you're cherry picking verses. You know you are. This is what you do.
So just so we can, it's true that we're more so looking to focus in on Raging Atheist ethical system. We can probably, if it's possible, to shift a little bit, turn left just a little bit. That way we can, because we've been exploring a lot of territory, which is definitely no problem. At the same time, we definitely want to still get to talk about, you could say, the promised topic. So we'll kind of maybe if Raging Atheist, if you'd like, we can give you time to kind of unpack it. Otherwise, if you feel like you're kind of like, oh yeah, I kind of feel like I've unpacked it well enough to where now I'm ready to defend it against objections, the discussion could go that way too, whatever you prefer.
I mean, I am who I am. I think I've demonstrated that I have ethics. All you have to do is go on my channel, watch my Matt Powell videos, watch his stupid movie called Science Falsely So Called, compare the two, and see where the atheist was ethical with his edits and what he put out for the world to see, and how the Christian wasn't. I've shown my ethics. So, I mean, for this person that has admitted that he's not even watched my videos to come and attack my ethics, I find it ludicrous. I mean,
I'm
so
attacking your
that's the only
basis for
unpacking
ethics.
that I need.
I'm not saying that you don't have any ethics. I'm saying you have no basis for ethics.
Well, I mean, that's what you're saying.
And you have the burden of proof. You have the burden of proof to demonstrate that.
I have demonstrated far more than you have. Like, you demonstrate how God gave you ethics, because I've demonstrated how my parents gave me mine.
And then what gave it to them?
Their parent. We've been through over this.
If this regresses, that's the point I'm trying to make. You have to come to.
Fucking point.
Okay, what do you think about Sam Harris's quote? Want me to read that to you?
I love Sam Harris. Go for it.
There's nothing more natural than rape. Human beings rape. Chimpanzees rape.
As much as I love Sam Harris, I disagree with him. I mean, well, but to the extent he's right. Like, you look in nature, shit does rape. We're humans. You know, we have ascended above that. We have a sentient mind, and our society determines what's right and wrong. And our society has determined that rape is wrong. And you don't even really need society for that. I would ascertain. So, all you need is morality.
So when the Nazis society determined to kill Jews, was their society right?
Oh, here we go. I mean, you really want to talk about the Nazis?
This is what I'm trying to show you. Everything you do is arbitrary. There's no justification for anything you say.
Somebody that claims that Hitler wasn't a Christian, he was an atheist, even though Hitler only claimed Christianity, never claimed. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and he probably hated Christianity.
Let's stay on topic here, because you're deliberately getting off topic.
It's ridiculous.
So
I mean, seriously, I mean, you're gonna you sit here and claim that Hitler is an atheist when you have no.
I never said that. I'm talking about
maybe it was your boy,
the Nazi society.
But he was on the show that he was screaming it at the top of his lungs.
Yeah, but probably he hated Christianity anyway, and he killed clergymen. He killed many Catholic clergymen as well.
And that's also why the top 3 Christian leaders in Germany supported him. That's why he was raised Catholic. Now, I know what Hitler did and what he was planning on doing, and he was planning on creating Nazism as a religion. And you're right, he was planning on persecuting the Christians. But that doesn't take away from the fact that he claimed Christianity his entire life.
Everything is relative. Your moral standard is relative. You have no justification to say your morality is better than Hitler's. That's the point.
Neither do you.
I do, though.
How?
Because it can be grabbed into the moral.
You know, I can say my morality is better than Hitler. You know why? I haven't killed any Jews, dude.
Subjective.
I haven't tried to take over the world.
Arbitrary.
I haven't tried to push my shit on everybody else. You know, for you, how is my ethics the same as Hitler's? I mean, you're sitting here comparing fucking Hitler.
Prove it is better than Hitler's. Give me some kind of justification for that.
I'm not going to lower myself to answer that bullshit. Compare me to Hitler. Go fuck yourself.
Okay, gentlemen, let's if we return to the moral theory,
we're talking ethics here, and dude's comparing me to Hitler. Come on.
No, I'm just asking you to justify
You're
how.
comparing me to Hitler. I made my opinion.
Well, can you prove your morality is better than Hitler's? Give me some kind of basis.
Can you?
I do. The moral nature of God.
I've told you. Yes, my morality is better than Hitler's. I haven't killed Jews today. Proof. Fucking proof. Sorry.
But there's no justification, though.
Oh my
you have
God.
any justification behind that?
For you have proven less ethics than me. So prove that you're not Hitler, dude.
For one, meta ethics are not even physical. They are immaterial.
Word salad bullshit. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, just because you say it's the word salad, I mean, that doesn't negate what I'm saying.
Everything you say is negated by your idiocy. I mean, I can't even take you seriously now. I just can't even take you. This is beyond the pale. This is exactly like everybody told me not to do this. Your little group is atrocious. All of you.
Yeah, but we still care about your soul. We want you to be saved.
Compare me to Hitler.
We want you to be saved in the eternal kingdom of God. And that's what
I could care less.
We do not hate you.
I could care less. Oh yeah, you don't hate that. That's why you attack atheists nonstop. That's why you sat here and admitted that you never.
No, I don't attack them personally. I don't attack them personally.
I am worse than any atheist you have ever met.
No,
You're
I've
walking
seen
with
a
the
lot
rest of
worse
the
though.
This is not
You
doing.
don't intimidate me. I mean, I'm not afraid of you. I just want. I actually, as all Christians do, we care for your soul. We want you to be saved.
Oh, and that's why
all.
you troll people nonstop and you attack Shannon Q in sexual manners and just
I never
nasty,
have.
nasty ways. Maybe not you, but your boys.
I don't know about my boy. I don't even know who you're talking about, really. But
Come on, Max and Apologist Supreme and I mean all these dudes, man. Come on, it's all over Twitter.
and you asked me for a justification. Well, actually, the biblical's golden rule is applicable at all places, at all times, and for all peoples. So there you go. There's my justification right there.
Oh yeah, that's great justification. More word salad.
No, I mean, if it's an argument for incredulity from you, then I don't know what to tell you.
How long you been writing this stuff down?
I just whatever comes to my mind. Maybe like.
Oh yeah, it sounds like it. It's dude, I do research. I know when somebody's reading from something. Come on.
It's my own stuff. I don't copy for anyone.
Uh-huh. Yep.
So I've justified where my morality comes, but you have not.
Oh, yeah. You've justified a horrible Bible and you apologize for it.
But that's just
if your morality comes from the Bible, I don't take you seriously.
Well, I mean that's your problem, not mine. But,
well, I mean, but you're having the same problem though, aren't you? You don't know me, and yet you're attacking. You're sitting here, the one attacking me, not the other way around.
Not you personally. I'm attacking your ideology.
No, this whole debate was about my morality, my ethics. I mean, that's what this debate is about.
Your worldview, yes, it's terrible.
According to you, I think my worldview is great. I love.
You have no hope. You have no justification for anything.
People should be discriminated against because they love other people. You know, I don't think people should be discriminated against because they don't believe in a God. You know, your religion had hearsay laws burning people like me to death, and you're going to be mad because what? We call you out for it?
Yeah, but that's a straw man argument.
It's true, dude.
It is. That's not true because the Bible, you have to understand doctrines of Christianity.
You're denying history now. Straight up denying history. The hearsay laws that led to the...
That's a genetic fallacy.
The death of
whatever people do, and whatever people do, it has nothing to do with the source of where it's coming from. Please learn what a genetic fallacy is.
Everything to do with the source.
No, it doesn't. It's just ignorant.
You think Apple would hate gay people if the Bible wasn't telling them to hate them?
The Bible doesn't say that.
Sure it does. It calls them abomination.
No, the act itself is an abomination.
The act is no... what the hell? Seriously.
Right.
Seriously.
This is what I'm saying. This ignorance is rampant in
you're right. This ignorance is palpable.
Yeah, but I'm trying to help you out here.
No, you're not. Don't. I mean, that's just disingenuous. Come on.
Yeah, and you're just in the clutches of nihilism, and and like if you look at the history of nihilism through communist countries, like atheistic communist countries like Russia, there's nothing that's ever came good out of atheism. There's no successful society.
I really love how it's always got to go to Stalin's Russia, right? You know, because Stalin didn't.
But they're the gold standard of atheism.
Strong man for everybody to worship. You know, I'm not going to sit here and deny that communist Russia was not atheist. It was, but you cannot put the actions of that government on atheism. That's just
atheism. I can, but not atheist. You're right. I cannot.
Not on atheism. The movement was communist, not atheist.
No, it was inherently atheistic, though, and even Lenin, Marx, they plainly said it. They, in their own words, they said atheism is the the heart of their ideology. It
was the heart of the you're right, the ideology, but it wasn't communism. You know, Stalin didn't do those horrible things because he was an atheist. Stalin did those horrible things because he was a ruthless dictator. And he had,
that's what atheism.
No, you can point to just as many Christian ruthless dictators that have done is equally as atrocious things.
Can you name some? Just give me some.
Hitler.
I can use that's easily debunked in his private.
Hitler claimed Christianity his entire life. He said he was
propaganda, man. It's pure propaganda.
No, that's history. That's history. Your apologetics is what's propaganda.
Look up Hitler's private conversations. You'll see he hated Christianity. He hated it.
Oh, there's one quote.
He hated Jesus was a Jew. You know Jesus was a Jew, right?
It wasn't even from Hitler himself. Hitler's always claimed to be a Christian.
Yeah, propaganda.
No, that's history. That's history.
Well, yeah, I gave you history though. I mean, in his private conversations, you can look it up.
I've researched it thoroughly coming into this debate, and no, it's not true.
Well, I mean, he hated Jews, and Jesus was a Jew, so why would he be a Christian?
Why have Christians hated Jews since Jesus' death? Because they blame the Jews for his death. To sit here and deny that, I mean, just shows your
where does it say they hate Jews at? I don't see. Give me the verse where it says they hate Jews in the Bible.
I don't have to. I'm telling you about their actions. Whose
actions?
It was called. Let me find it real quick. Let me find it. Yeah, we'll talk about this. All right. If I can actually find it. It was called blood debt, I believe. Blood debt, and it was the European practice of discriminating against Jews for the death of Jesus.
Okay, but where in the Bible does it say that? I could care less what other people do.
The Bible was written 2,000 years ago. I'm talking about the history of Christians since.
Genetic fallacy, man. You don't know what a genetic fallacy is.
I'm talking about what they've actually done, not what the Bible said 2,000 years ago.
You don't think God's going to judge those people even more harsh than anyone else? God's going to judge those people twice as hard than these other people. He even says it. Those who claim to come in his name, he will punish them way harder than even like an atheist per se.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he will.
No, it's true, though. I don't have the verse right now, but I'll get it to you, though. But it does say that. You know the mind
of God. You know who God is.
Yeah.
How do you know that God won't
He's
judge
revealed his mind in the Bible. That's what I'm saying.
All
you got to get
interpretation.
into the Bible.
How do you know that God isn't going to stand in opposition of everything you're saying right now? It's all interpretation.
It's written in the Word of God. That's his own inspired word.
Well, the Word of God did not save all the people discriminated through blood debt for hundreds of years.
But that's just
the word of the Bible did not save the slaves whose slave owners used the Bible to justify their slavery. The Bible, the written word of the Bible did not save all those atheists that were burned at the stake for hearsay laws. That's what I'm talking about. Screw your Bible.
No, it's not the Bible's problem. It's people that are the problem. You don't get that.
Exactly. And the Bible feeds these people.
No, it's their ignorance that's what feeds these people.
Or people like you justifying it.
I don't justify that at all.
You justify slavery, you justify indentured servitude.
There's nothing.
You apologize for all the horrible things the Bible says.
There's nothing there's nothing horrible about the Bible. There's nothing. I mean, I challenge you to show that.
God killed every single living thing on the planet because they weren't worshiping him enough.
I've already addressed that.
But the Bible says that. I don't care what you say. I'm talking about the Bible now, yo.
No, what's important is what the manuscripts say. The word earth is not denote.
How about when the Bible kills all the firstborn children of Egypt that had nothing to do with the conflict? Why didn't God just kill the Pharaoh?
Okay, did you read that narrative, though?
It's pretty apparent. He kills a bunch of innocent people.
No, because if you read the last verse of Exodus 1:22, 400 years the Egyptians were killing the firstborn of the Hebrews. This was a judgment.
So an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, that makes it okay?
No. He says to put blood above their doorposts, and they didn't do it. They didn't listen, man. Come on.
To me, that is not morality. That is not a moral that's going to get so...
That's justice. You don't understand what justice is. Do you believe in the concept of justice?
Natural history doesn't say that at all. Let's be true that the Jewish people probably weren't slaves in Egypt. They were a warrior class, and there was even one Jewish pharaoh. We know that for a fact.
Are you saying that there's no such thing as slavery in Egypt? Are you serious?
No, I'm saying the Jews weren't slaves.
Of course they were. I mean... I don't know what history you're getting this off of. It's ridiculous. It's bonkers, man. I don't know where you're getting this stuff from. It's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, it's ridiculous to you
But,
because you don't
you
go
know,
outside of your box.
But I will let you know that I do care about you and I want your soul. I do care about your soul and I want you to
So
be
did Matt
saved.
Powell, and I'll tell you the same thing I told Matt Powell.
You know, God can change any heart, and that's what
I don't need your care. I'm doing pretty well for myself.
All right, I know.
And I don't need your God. I don't need to be saved by your God. If being saved by your God means that gives me morality, then I'd rather not have it.
No, I didn't say that either. I didn't say that either. Some of the most evilest people have been people claim to be under the banner Christian.
We'll agree on that, and I'll agree that some atheists have done horrible things. That doesn't mean all atheists are horrible people either.
Right, and I never said that. All people have done wicked things. Doesn't matter what, whatever title, wherever they are, genre, but I'm talking about justifying morality. There's no justification for morality outside of God.
Sure, there is. I mean, society makes morality.
No,
society sets laws. Don't need God to do that.
And where does society get that from? Then it just regresses and it becomes arbitrary and subjective.
Experience. It's what makes us human, guy. All right, let me explain something to you. The thing that sets us apart is our ability to empathize. We are able to empathize with other human beings, see ourselves in their shoes. It's how every generation, even though we live very short lives, every generation we are able to carry over what we learned from before. Now that what we learned is inaccurate because we weren't there, but we do some of those things. It's what sets us apart from the rest of the animals on this planet. It's how our tools were able to evolve from one generation to the next.
So when a lion eats their own young,
how it is. You don't need some mystical God telling you that, oh, look at me, be like me, go kill everybody. No, that's not morality, and I will reject it every time. And you can sit here and apologize for the flood. The Bible talks about a flood where God kills every single being on this planet.
To me, that's a strawman.
It's because they weren't worshiping him enough.
Not all Christians have the young Earth creationist perspective of the flood.
No, they don't. And usually that is what I stand in opposition to. But most Christians have, the thing that most Christians have in common is an ability to accept untruth and to judge every single person. Like you have judged me for being. I didn't judge you. You think I am when I'm far worse.
No, I'm not judging you at all. I have never judged you at all.
You have. I mean, but you can deny it because that makes you look unchristian.
No, I'm
right?
actually on the opposite end of the spectrum. I want you to be saved, brother. I don't care. I don't want you to.
You say that, but I mean, to me, that's just excuse to be a douche.
A lot of atheists, I think they have that stigma in their head, but that's not true, though.
Most atheists are former Christians in this country. Most atheists come from your exact worldview. We have rejected it, and you can't stand that. That's why you don't like us.
Yeah, but I mean, I challenge that claim because the Bible shows what a true Christian is. I don't think they were Christians.
Oh, I definitely admit I wasn't a true Christian. I smoked weed, I drank, we believed in God, and every once in a while we went to church. That is the American Christianity. Now, most Americans, as I said, don't go to seminary. Most Americans aren't going to spend their time. They don't even read the Bible, much less spend their time breaking it down.
Right.
So.
But that's not going to save you,
you're correct, which you're not. But even if you're correct, you have to go based upon the generality of it, on the results of it, on what most people react to it from. You cannot deny that although that some Christians were all for gay rights, that the majority of them weren't, and yet you deny it. You cannot deny that God, the Bible says, killed everything on the planet, and yet you deny it.
I deny your
interpretation. You want to talk about morality? I gleefully reject that morality.
1 second. Just, let's see. So, if you guys feel satisfied that we've covered the topics that we hope to cover.
Yeah, I do. I would like, it's my fault, everybody, that this is cut short. So praise is as heated as it's been. I would like to continue this conversation at another time.
Yeah, that's fine.
We can continue this conversation. I've enjoyed it, even though I have been heated.
Yeah, I understand.
At least you defend yourself. You're not Matt Powell, who's going to go out of his way to be something he's not. So I give you credit for that.
Thank you.
So what we can do is we do have a lot of great questions, and so we can move into the Q&A. And with that, we want to say thanks everybody for your questions. Got a lot of diversity in the chat, which is great. Atheists, Christians, and as we say, all the strange creatures in between. We've got a good good showing, so we appreciate everybody being here. And next, super chats. Thanks so much, Josh Brister. He says, I challenge any and all professional atheists. Thanks for that, Josh. And Josh Brister again says, raging atheist, will you debate me? Let's go.
You can email me at theraging@gmail.com, DARAGING, atheist, @gmail.com, and I'm willing to debate anybody.
You bet. And then Kent Hoven CPA, he's here every night. It's not.
I like Kent Hoven CPA.
It's not Kent Hoven's real account. Just so everybody knows, I'm not really. Okay. He says Matt Powell's rosy red cheeks are hilarious. So very sweet. I don't know if that's an inside joke or if he just likes Matt Powell's cheeks, but
Matt Powell has some really, really red cheeks.
So thank you very much, Ken Oven CPA and Josh Brister. Appreciate your super chats. And next up, Z Yonder has a question. He said, don't you believe that the ethic you call common sense is only that because you've been indoctrinated with it? Forgive me, Z Yonder. I don't know exactly who you're talking to, and so if
I would guess probably me. And I admitted that I was indoctrinated by my parents, and part of becoming an atheist is breaking out of that childhood programming.
Gotcha. And let's see. Harry, good to see you. He says, I am Christian, but regardless, I hope and or pray that you have, let's see. Harry, usually, I'm going to let this slide. It's not a big deal. And it's well-intentioned. It's usually, well, I forgot to mention, and we always forget to do this, I'm sorry. The super chats are like a new thing, and so, and Harry, I'll read this because I started. Usually we'll do questions for Q&A, just put an @ModernDayDebate into the live chat. That way I see it, because sometimes I don't see it if you don't start it with that little tag. And we always put questions into the Q&A. If you do a super chat, we put it first in the list, and we also are willing to read off a comment for one of the debaters if you want to make a comment instead of a question. Harry snuck in a comment into the Q&A, but we like Harry. I started reading halfway. He says, I'm Christian, but regardless, I hope and pray that you have the willpower to stop smoking. So even if that comes off as, I don't know how it comes off, but I think he means well. So you can say something if you want, but you don't have to. This goes for both of you guys in terms of questions for you. So next we have.
I'm trying to quit. It's hard.
Yeah.
You got it. Well, Harry cares for you, so I appreciate that, Harry, that you got people who love you. So Q for Raging Atheist from Nick J. Thanks for your question, Nick, and for Harry and for the first one. So he says, do you think that there are some things that are good in the Christian ethic?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I really try hard not to paint with a broad brush, although I do sometimes, but I try to make it clear that I'm speaking of fundamental Christians mainly. I think that there are very good things in Christianity. I think that there are very good movements in Christianity. I think there are a lot of Christians that do a lot of good things.
You bet. Thanks for that question. And Z Yonder asks, Raging, do you believe humans have rights? If so, why? Because you are human and someone told you that you do? That was his question.
That's a good question. I do believe humans have basic individual rights, and I don't know why. I honestly don't. I know people would like to say that it's God. I don't think so. I think it's society. I think over 60,000 years through trial and error, we figured out what works, what doesn't, and we have laws. And I think that if somebody has a thing, or not even that, that's the wrong way to put it. I think that everybody should have the freedom to be themselves.
You bet. Thank you very much. And So I'm going to try to fly through these. If I look distracted, sorry. That's why I just want to squeeze in as many as we can. Genius Tracks said, let's see. Oh, this is submitting a discussion topic. This is actually, I'd love to get people's opinions and the debaters' opinions. New topics. He said the pros and cons of artificial intelligence would be a fun topic. And
Yeah.
do people think that would be fun? I'm kind of curious both of what the debaters think as well as in the live chat, because it's a little bit off our kind of flagship genre of Fiddle religion. Debaters, do you think it would be interesting, or is it not outside of your wheelhouse?
Oh, that's a little bit outside my wheelhouse, but I do know Elon Musk, has some interesting things about that.
Yeah, it's out of my wheelhouse, but I'd be interested. I'd watch it.
You bet. Really interesting. So yeah, I think that'd be really fun. So next up, we have Nick J asks, for praise, can you explain how and why God is perfect and by what standard?
The best way I can explain it is the ontological argument is God is the greatest conceivable being in the universe. So there cannot be any morality outside of him. So everything generates from him. So that's kind of a oxymoron to say, what standard he would go by, because that's a contradiction. And if he was any flawed in any type of way, he wouldn't be God in the first place. So that's how I would answer that, is the ontological argument.
Gotcha. And just had a super chat come in from Sheepwork. Totally appreciate it. And so thanks for that, Sheepwork, who asks, sex with animals? If not, why? And could that change?
No, and no.
Absolutely not. And God outlaws that specifically in the Torah, and the Torah. So
come on, praise. It's 2019, man. Just kidding. I don't have sex with animals. Okay. Basically, that's one thing we agree on. Look, we got all three of us up here on the same page. That's nice. That's encouraging.
Yep, sex with animals is bad.
Yeah, no good. Nobody's. But really interesting philosophical question. Karag Nightwolf asks, does praise believe the story in the Bible where Jesus casts out demons into pigs and then has those pigs hurl themselves off of a cliff? And if he does believe that, why should I not disqualify him from any serious evaluation on subjects involving logical reasoning or using critical thinking faculties?
So I don't understand his argument. Is he trying to say it's immoral or illogical? I'm not quite understanding what he's asking.
I think he's saying, do you believe it? And if so, why should I trust you? I think he thinks of it as, what's the word I'm looking for?
I would say it's immoral.
I think I'll read it one more time just to be sure, involving reasoning or using critical thinking. So I think it's more on the rationality level that he's critiquing.
Yeah, I think there's a spiritual lesson that needs to be learned, though, and that even swine don't even want to be possessed by evil spirits and demonics, and they'll even kill themselves to get away from being possessed by evil spirits. I don't see how that's anything's illogical. I mean, it's their own choice. God didn't force them to run into the water, so.
You got it. Really interesting question, and we appreciate that. Crag Nightwolf wanted to ask that so bad he emailed it beforehand. The guy, he's really want to know, so totally appreciate that. And DFC says, Dr. O, I think that's for Dr. Oosh, he says Dr. O would crush both of these bums. Sorry, guys. I've got to read the super chats.
Who's Dr. O?
Dr. Ooch we had on last weekend, and it was definitely one of the more interesting talks we've ever had on the channel. So that, I think it was just if you go 3 videos back, definitely interesting. We have a Dr. O fan. They're always spirited. So sorry, debaters.
I take no offense. I am a bum sometimes.
So we appreciate that. And also, just saw you subscribed. I hate fake people. We totally appreciate that. Glad to have you part of the community. And so yeah, it's like to have, including whether it be I hate fake people, or DFC who calls you both bums. We're happy to have an eclectic mix here. Just you're not bums, don't worry. Okay, so here we go. They don't look bothered. Okay, Iron Charioteer asks praise if his worldview has the ultimate solution to all humanity's problems.
Absolutely. And that's even reverberated in the gold standard. Love others as yourself. If people did that, this world would be a lot better place. And I don't think there would be a place, I mean, there would be no room for problems like we have today.
Gotcha. And yeah, so we appreciate those questions. And Iron Charioteer has another one. And he says, and add, why does he think so? If you feel like you've answered that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for that, Iron Charioteer. And Nick J, question for Raging Atheist. If atheism is people's natural condition, then why is there worship for a god in nearly every civilization?
Well, I mean, that's a pretty easy question to answer, and all you have to do is study history and go back far enough. We see 10,000 years ago that the first religions came, and they weren't a one god religion. They were usually dark gods that involved blood sacrifice. Before that, human beings didn't worship a god. They feared ghouls, goblins, and witches, stuff like that. This is documented history. All you have to do is go back far enough.
Gotcha, you bet. Next up, we have Saint Dragon. Raging Atheist, what about the atheists who kill hundreds of thousands of religious believers and clergies?
What atheist? Now, I'm probably talking about Mao or Stalin, and I would give the same response. You know, people are going to dismiss that Hitler was a Christian or say he wasn't a true Christian, but Hitler claimed Christianity and killed millions of people.
Gotcha. You bet. Z Yonder. By the way, Raging Atheist, you're getting so much attention tonight. Usually it's the Christian gets like 90% of the questions, but you're getting a good amount. This has been...
I am a unique individual, I admit this.
You draw attention. So Z Yonder asked, Raging, if we have ascended above animal behaviors such as rape, what are we ascending towards?
I would hope we're ascending towards equality. I would hope we're ascending towards a lack of division. I see religion as something that divides us. I also see politics as something that divides us. I would hope that we're going to eventually, I won't be around to see it, evolve to a point where we're not judging people based on our fears, but based on merit.
Gotcha. You bet. And Sheepwork, thanks for your super chat. Just came in. He asks, atheists, why is bestiality wrong?
I mean, you shouldn't have sex with a donkey. I don't know. I mean, society makes it wrong. Why would it be right?
Gotcha. You bet. Thanks for that question, Sheepwork. And that's
good question.
That's actually like a debate topic we might have to have, Sheepwork, that you've inspired. Mm-hmm. That's super interesting. So, next up, Mr. Cook. Let's see, Mr. Cook Jr. Thanks so much. Mr. Cook Jr. has just been super supportive of the channel. He's kind of helping us do some upgrades, and so we wanted to just give him a shout out and say totally appreciate it. And I have to say, really, this channel is like, I'm like just so thankful for everybody, the debaters, people. Here's an example of all these like little things where people are helping, and I'm like, you honestly make my life so much easier. Yesterday we had like so much like prep stream time, and so it just went on forever. And then Spooky Hair and another person actually too, both in the video this morning, they said, hey, jump to like 12 minutes into the video, you can start to see the debate, which I appreciate. It makes it easier for the viewers. And so anyway, little things like that mean a lot. So thank you, everybody. Jeremy Pace asks, we're going to try to squeeze in as many. Jeremy Pace asks, ask praise, how were the Crusades moral?
I think it was a defensive war, and the Bible shows that it's okay to defend yourself. I don't see how there's anything immoral about defending yourself.
Gotcha. You bet. Greg Morgan has a question. Question for both. Do you think this is how to get people to see your point of view? I don't know if he means by debate, like in general, or if he means giving your guys a spirited style.
I'll go first. I don't try to push my point of view on people. I just rage. And if people like what I rage about, then they subscribe. If they don't, then they don't. I'm not trying to push my worldview on anybody.
Gotcha. You bet. John Williams asks, I'm going to do this really quick. I think we can squeeze the rest in. Q&A's closed. Sorry, folks. We got great questions, and I think we can squeeze these last two in if it's okay with Raging Atheist.
Yeah, okay. Let's go for it.
John Williams asks, I just asked Raging how he would explain his morality to a person detached from emotions.
Wow, that is a great question. I don't know. I don't know. I will tell you this. I don't know if you're subbed. You don't have to sub to my channel. I'm going to think about that. How would I explain my morality to somebody without emotions? I'm going to think about that, and I'm going to make a video about that, because that's a good question.
Yeah, definitely interesting. I'm like, oh, that's... So anyway, totally appreciate that. And Alexander Souls, forgive me if I get this wrong, I'm sorry. Solzhenitsyn. I think I got that right. Let me know if I did. Okay. He says, are you planning on having Dr. O back on the show anytime? Loved his insights on many things. We got a lot of Dr. O fans. So
I missed this. I watched most of your debates, and I missed this one. I got to watch this one.
It's definitely, it was interesting and surprising. So one last one. This is the absolute last. Just Sheepwork, I totally appreciate your super chat. He says, so if society says it's okay, then could it be okay to do something?
See, now that's a good question. And that's where personal morality has to come in. You know, there's a lot of things going on in society right now that I don't agree with. And say if Matt Powell and the Quiverful movement had their way and they instilled Christian law and it became legal to kill gay people, for instance, I would stand against that.
Gotcha. You bet. Well, thanks for that, Sheepwork, and thank you, Raging Atheist, and praise. Thanks for Raging Atheist keeping this debate, even though he had basically like a last-minute thing where it was like, ooh, this is going to be harder on my schedule, and he still kept it. We just moved it up an hour. So we want to say thanks for being willing to do that so we can still have you here. And
I appreciate you having me. I am sorry that I let loose a couple curse words. I was trying really hard not to do that.
It's okay. I
understand. Yeah, I understand you're like the way you are. That's just the way you are. I understand that.
I appreciate that. I am me. I try not to be disingenuous.
Yeah.
Even if
and I see that. I don't think there's anything disingenuous there.
Thank you. And I do. I really want to talk to you again. Praise, as heated as it got.
Yeah.
This was a good conversation.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think the passion. It's like, I try to just think of it as like, hey, people disagree. It's not a big deal, and we appreciate, you know, people have passion and they're, like I said, transparent. So you have to give credit for that. So we appreciate that. And next, we'll just say thank you to the audience for your great questions, and keep sifting out the reasonable from the unreasonable. Thanks, guys, and have a great night.
What's up, guys? If you like my video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Share me on your social media. Comment in the comment section below. Hit the subscribe button. Watch what's next. Watch what YouTube recommends for you. Tell all your friends how crazy Nakasuchi is. I'll see you soon.